Good afternoon, sir. My name is Cadet Fletcher. This is an unclassified information brief. During this brief, I will be analyzing the 8 troop leading procedures at the squad level, and the purpose of this brief is to educate the soldiers of 1st Squad, 2nd Platoon, Bravo Company, 117 Infantry on the importance and the purpose of the TLPs and how to implement them at the squad level. According to Army doctrine, the TLPs, troop leading procedures, provide small unit leaders a framework for planning and preparing for operations, and this comes from ATP 3-21.8. Even though doctrine identifies the TLPs as a way for leaders to plan for and prepare a mission, each and every soldier should be familiar with them and their steps to ensure that they know what is being asked of them. The 8 TLPs are as follows. 1. Receive the mission. 2. Issue the warrant order. 3. Make a tentative plan. 4. Initiate movement. 5. Conduct reconnaissance. 6. Complete the plan. 7. Issue the op order. And 8. Supervise and refine. As you can see, I've broken down the TLPs into 3 separate categories. The first 3 should be done first and in order. The steps 4 through 7 can be done in any order and is dependent on the mission. And step 8 should be continuously done leading up to and throughout the mission to ensure that they're accounting for changes and fragos from higher up and anything else they see fit. The first step is to receive the mission. Leaders determine their missions and assess the time available to accomplish them. Again, also coming from ATP 3-21.8. The TLPs begin as soon as the platoon leader passes down the mission to the squad leader. At this time, the squad leader needs to be focusing on the timeline. It's important that he passes down the timeline information as soon as possible to maximize the amount of time his team leaders and the rest of the squad has to learn and prepare for the mission. This is an example of a platoon-sized element timeline. However, the squad leader can do something very similar, or really anything that conveys what needs to get done at what time. Step 2 is issue the warrant order. A warrant order is a preliminary notice of order or action to follow. The squad leader should prepare the warrant order to include the same elements as higher up, which will allow the team leaders and all of the members to fully prepare and know the mission. The squad leader should pass down the warrant order as soon as possible. So that the team can begin planning alongside the squad. The warrant order should be formatted in the same 5-paragraph format as the op order, which will allow the squad leader to easily complete the plan later on, and will also present the information in a way that's familiar to the rest of the squad. At a bare minimum, the warrant order needs to include these things. The next step is to make a tentative plan, also known as mission analysis. Compared to higher echelons like a company and a platoon, a squad is a much smaller element, and thus it's a lot easier to work together as a team, and the squad leader should be taking input from his junior NCOs and really every member in the squad, which will help prevent him from overlooking certain things during the planning process. The 4 questions that need to be answered during the mission analysis are: what is the mission? What is the current situation? How do we accomplish the mission? And what are the risks? The squad leader should use METTC to answer these 4 questions. METTC being mission, enemy, terrain and weather, troops and support available, time available, and civil considerations. Again, this is a lot for the squad leader to do on his own, but if he can delegate these tasks to his team leaders, then everything can get done in a more timely manner. He should place the trust in the junior NCOs to not only find this information, but then to report back to him or brief the rest of the squad so everybody knows exactly what's going to happen during the mission. The next step, step 4, is to initiate the movement. ATP 3-21.8 states that leaders initiate movements necessary to continue mission preparation or to posture the unit for starting the mission. Again, the squad is a smaller element, more easily maneuverable, and thus doesn't usually require as much time to move as a platoon or a company would. However, the squad leader needs to be cognizant of the amount of time it'll take for his squad to move from the assembly area to the start point or the ORP or wherever they're going. So he needs to plan accordingly and pass on that timeline to the rest of his squad. TC 3-21.6 outlines 3 common maneuver techniques that a squad will use. 1, the squad column, in which the teams are in a fire team wedge staggered one on top of each other with the squad leader in between. The squad line, where the teams are still in a fire team wedge and the squad leader's in between, and this time they're on the same plane. And 3, the squad file, where all members of the squad are lined up as such. The maneuvering technique is dependent on the terrain and the type of mission that they're conducting and should be left up to the squad leader to decide what they'll be using. Step 5 is to conduct reconnaissance. The nature of reconnaissance, including what it covers and how long it lasts, depends on the tactical situation and the time available. At a bare minimum, the squad should be conducting map reconnaissance to grasp a basic understanding of the terrain and the area of operations that they will be entering. At this time, the squad leader is most likely spending his time finalizing the plan and getting ready to issue the op order, and thus he should utilize and place trust in those team leaders and junior NCOs to conduct the reconnaissance on their own. Whether or not the team leaders just stick to the map reconnaissance or actually get eyes on the objective and the AO is up to them, but the squad leader should trust them to not only see the recon, not only conduct the recon, but then report back and explain what they saw to the rest of the squad. Steps 6 and 7 go hand in hand, completing the mission and issuing the op order. Again, squad is a small size element, and the squad leader should brief the entire squad in person to convey his message as he sees fit. It is crucial that each member fully understands and is confident in the mission, otherwise it will not go as smoothly or it could just fail altogether. The op order should be presented in this 5-paragraph format to account for all necessary information. The last step, supervise and refine, as mentioned earlier, should and can occur throughout the entire operation. The squad leader should be adjusting for fragos from higher up, and the lower levels like team leaders and really any member in the squad can be supervising and refining to provide their input and make suggestions on things that they think should be changed. Back brief should be conducted throughout the entire planning process, ensuring that all members know what is being asked of them and making sure that they know what the mission is. If time permits it, rehearsal should be conducted. 2 suggestions are battle drill 1, which is seen here, which is a reaction to direct contact, and battle drill 2 alpha, which is a squad assault. And finally, right before step off, the squad leaders and team leaders should be conducting pre-combat checks and pre-combat inspections, ensuring that all members have the right equipment that they need for the mission. Key takeaways from this brief: be efficient with and conscious of time. Time is of extreme importance, and the squad leader and team leader should be passing down information quickly to allow all members enough time to prepare for and get ready for the mission. The squad can work as a team for 2 reasons. 1, it'll help get all the tasks done quickly, and 2, it'll allow the entire squad to know the mission to the fullest extent. Lastly, it's important to continue to revise and fix the plan as needed. Fix the problems when they come up rather than letting them become a bigger deal later on. Sir, this concludes my information brief. Are there any questions?